Whoa! Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Episode 15. What happened last time?
Oh yeah, last time Enya killed Whole Horse, and I don't know how they could have ever seen it coming, but they got tricked into the evil hotel owned and operated by Enya in this sketchy town. But we'll see what happens this time.
Hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe. Had a big rant on why Lindsay's not enjoying the show last time, but we're still going on. Hope you enjoy negative reactions, because that's what this channel's about. No, I'm kidding. We're trying to get into it and get to the good part and get to where we're a little bit more settled in the story. That's the main thing. So. Yeah. We'll see. Hope you guys leave a like and subscribe. Hope you check out previous reactions. Hope you check out Patreon. Hope you support the official release. Let's go.
Just the creepy soundtrack. Distraction. Unbelievable story. I'm surprised he fits under that couch.
Yeah, true. He's fucking flat as a board all of a sudden. Turn you into a puppet.
Killing him with kindness over here.
Like, say... Say, for example, you were a mother. Get away from me, you piece of shit. Oh shit!
Oh my god.
How?
How? Oh! Yikes.
Townspeople. Fucking Wamu. That dog. Creepy long-faced dog.
Overpowered. Oh my god, it's so surprising.
To think of, yeah, like, what? Enemy of my enemy, Whole Horse, apparently.
Oh, the tongues. Really? Really? He can't just leave you here? Yeah, fuck you.
She's running really fast with stubby little legs. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god, those are sharp ass scissors.
Yeah, her legs are like this long and his legs are like 5 feet long. Oh, don't go in the...
Oh, this murderer is chasing me. I should go up to the attic where it's safe.
You're strong. You're so strong. You're telling me you can't bust down one of those doors?
You got stando power. Dun, 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 dun. Don't look through there. Ah! Told you not to look through there. They were literally just waiting for him to. Oh my god. You're gonna do that anyway. Make it swallows with his tongue? No. No. It's just, please, no. That's just gross, and he has a hole in his tongue. He's gonna get a really bad infection from that. Isn't there? Basayo. I love the tension. She's saying this out loud? It's not italicized. Oh. Jesus. Stop. Stop what? Stop what? Stop what? Just get her. Paying attention. Because that's how she got Joseph.
Where he didn't.
Yeah.
Nice. At least someone around here.
Bubba. Fucking tank.
Oh my god.
Fuck!
Ew.
Why is she holding the baby? It's a zombie baby.
Bit late for that information now.
Palette swap.
I think she already took a breath. She's talking and breathing. Get her.
What?
She can't breathe?
Literal Superman type shit. Like, how does that make her suffocate?
If the stand's suffocating, then she is as well? Question mark?
I don't know. Is she alive? Oh. A burial ground. It's a fucking graveyard. It's not even...
Wow. That's gross. I don't know if that's better or worse than her murdering an entire town to make a
I
fake...
think it's better.
I think it's probably better.
I think it's probably better. Does that mean, though, that that long-faced dog is buried here?
Maybe.
Dio's power.
Where did Whole Horse go?
Where did Whole Horse go? Where is he?
They just let him go? Whole Horse stealing.
This motherfucker. Motherfucker. So they captured her. They didn't even kill her.
I hope they have her tied up really good.
If only Joseph would have been there.
What for?
Or maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't have worked the same way. Because they were undead. And he has fucking the Hamon power. Hamon no bead. He has the ripple. He probably could have fucked him up. But
yeah.
It's kind of different because like the weakness of the sun specifically has to do with like the vampires, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking like, oh, what could have like really turned the tides there other than Star Platinum breathing in the stand and somehow making Enya suffocate. I don't know what the relation is there, but it was cool, I guess.
Well, I guess if it's like having all the air getting sucked into someone's mouth, then it...
The idea would be if Star Platinum was breathing in so hard that he was sucking all the oxygen out of the room and turning it into a vacuum, essentially. But that wasn't the case.
No,
he was specifically sucking in
hurt.
the stand, and that somehow made Enya suffocate.
Well, whatever damage is done to the stand is done to the person, so if you're, like, suffocating the stand or, like, fucking it up by, like, putting a lot of pressure on its head...
I guess.
Or neck or whatever...
It makes sense, I guess. It just is kind of roundabout. It's not as intuitive as, like, slice the stand and it slices the person.
Well, it's like the whole thing of, like, you can't slice fog. You can only
suck it in.
Take a nice little sip of it.
What'd you think of that episode of Jojo?
This was a pretty funny episode. More enjoyable than just, like, the random ones because Enya is more of a character.
Yeah.
And we had last episode, like, building her up, and then this episode of just Polnareff just being a fucking idiot and, like, not taking any of the hints or signals at all. And just, like, the things that he was saying were funny and relevant because we know that he killed her son. So when he's like, oh, imagine if you just had a son. Imagine if your son got married. Son. Yeah. Just like keeps bringing that up and she's just like, see, that's way funnier than like just a literal random thing where they're just saying random bullshit. She's like trying to restrain herself and he's just like constantly like flicking salt into the wound right in front of her.
I also love it felt like it's still the similar thing of like, what does the villain do? The villain laughs like a psycho and talks about, like, acts like... Here's what the revelation I had. It's that, and we kind of touched on this, I won't go too into it, but it's like, when a villain acts like that, you immediately don't respect them. Because you're immediately like, oh, they're petty, they are, like, crazy, they're not someone with goals who are to be respected, they're just, like... acting on rage, they're acting on, like, a twisted sense of, like, I want to slurp up your insides and fucking crush your balls and rip your spine out of your head and shit down your throat. Like, when they start saying stuff like that, it's not the same, and you immediately, like, the association is there for you to be like, oh, well, this person is just a fucking idiot. They're not fighting for anything. They're just, you know. So... Enya did the same thing there, but it's better than otherwise because she was set up to be related to a previous villain. There's like other personal stakes here.
And she's trying to get them one at a time.
Yeah.
So she like is trying to keep up the act.
The thing is, it would have been better if she had to actually be smart. Or if she had to actually put on a better act instead of putting on
scissors at the first notice and like putting on this.
Not only that, but like not only that, because she's doing all that, but it's that they had to dumb down the main characters in order for her to make this like she's not actually being smart. She's only being smart relative to the main characters who are dumber than normal, and and
even though Jotaro figured it out, it's like he knew about it at the beginning and then like. But just, like, sort of waited around until it couldn't be denied.
Well, he just was catching her in a lie. That's all it was. It wasn't, like, couldn't be denied. And you have to remember, it's Jojo time. So, literally, they got there. Polnareff immediately went down to go to the bathroom. Then Jotaro immediately went down, got the registry, and then confronted her.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, all this time passed. It's literally within 5 minutes of getting there. They set their stuff down. Polnareff went downstairs to go to the bathroom. Immediately after going down there, Jotaro followed and caught her in the lie. So he wasn't actually wasting any time. It's just that we were spending time with Polnareff. Mm-hmm. And, but again, the gross out stuff is still there, and it's going to be there for the rest of JoJo. That's just part of its identity, like I said. But it's not, it's like they spent... And it kind of became a joke when Polnareff was in the bathroom, but he was just like, when the licking the toilet thing.
Yeah.
And it just kept, I noticed it cut towards it like multiple times of his eyes looking at the toilet, and then the toilet, and then closer his eyes looking at the toilet, and then the toilet, and then it would hold it, and then his eyes again looking at the toilet, and then it would go back to the toilet, and then again it would hold on the toilet extra long, and then go right close to his eyes, like, and I get that it was kind of funny to me when they did it the extra time, but it was like, you're clearly just going like, why is that, like, it's just, why is the threat of licking a toilet to me seemingly worse than dying to the stand user? Like, why, like, and I guess it should be expected because I don't expect Polnareff to die right now, you know? But, like, in the show, it seems like Polnareff is more scared of licking the toilet than he is of the 20 zombies outside of his door.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, it's falling into the same trap, even though it is a step in the right direction. And now we have a whole horse once again established as like the Kabuto type guy who just gets away at the last second.
Yeah, he was, and it was so funny as well how he was in the room, right?
Yeah.
And then he stayed in there. And then as soon as Enya came out, he somehow like went in, grabbed Polnareff, brought him out, and then they were like laying on the floor together.
Jotaro!
And then they like capture Enya, but then just like don't keep track of the other enemy, and then he steals their car and gets away.
Now they're stranded in the fucking desert. Yeah. I think
stuff.
It's a step in, would you agree that would agree. Like, okay, aside from everything, would you actually agree it's a step in the right direction, or are you still in the same space mentally?
I would agree that it's a step in the right direction because Enya like has her own thing going on. She's not just gross and disgusting, and that's her entire thing. She's gross and disgusting, but she was at least like trying to do something. She like had the goal of, I'm going to avenge my son, and I need to do it one at a time, and like keep up the act for as long as possible in order to succeed. And then there was like extra stuff like, oh, I'm gonna make him lick the toilet and all this like other random shit. But it like the majority of the episode wasn't gross out. The majority of the episode was like this funny thing back and forth between her and Polnareff of him saying stuff to offend her and her like trying to not say anything, or her like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, it was a little bit more of actual something going on rather than just gross things happening repetitively. Yeah. It was still there, but it was definitely not as bad as other episodes.
What's happening here is kind of exactly what happened to SpongeBob after the first like 3 seasons in the movie. Legitimately. After like the whole gags of like things being gross, or like you haven't watched a lot of SpongeBob, but like there's a lot of times in SpongeBob where it's a common gag that gets reused a lot is like, so we're watching this cartoon. This relates to Jojo. I'll get back to it in a second, but like we're watching this cartoon where it's like all these cartoon sea creatures and stuff, and it's like very poorly rendered like a cartoon, like there's not a whole lot of detail, and then it'll suddenly have a freeze frame of like a super realistic shot of like pimples on somebody's face and like boils, and it's like mucus and shit. It's disgusting. And like they'll use gross out humor sparingly in the first few seasons, but then once I think the main guy who originally made it, I think Tom Kenny, is that his name? I think he's dead now. I mean, Tom Kenny might be the voice actor for SpongeBob. Whatever it was. He like stepped away as the main guy, or like more corporate shit got involved, and it wasn't this like creative thing that was like this really great show. It started to degrade in quality, and more like the spirit of this like gross out humor was still there, but it was turned up to 11 because there wasn't that creative backbone behind it. And I'm not saying that there's not a creative backbone behind this. It's still a Rocky, but it's going into that thing where the identity of the show is changing, but it seems like a Rocky just keeps going back to the same joke every single time. Yeah. And it seems like he's still trying to find his footing with this new format. And he will, but that was just an interesting connection that I made because I was thinking about SpongeBob.
Yeah, to me, I think this episode was better because the main joke of the episode was Polnareff saying stuff to piss off Enya, and Enya not having to try and not react, and like seeing the back and forth there. That was like the overarching joke. Was her like trying to like struggling to not fly into a murderous rage and have to just like hold it in just a couple more seconds. Okay, now like that was the joke, and like the toilet thing was kind of the joke, but that was like the secondary joke compared to the main joke. Whereas in the other episodes, it just being gross was the main.
Gross or like creepy.
Yeah, like just going so over the top is the main joke.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, but in this one it wasn't. So I think that's why this one was
This is
better.
a step in the right direction. And like to circle it back to the beginning of the conversation, it's story stuff is happening that will hopefully move the plot forward in a big way. And I actually was looking at the comments of like the previous episodes that are on YouTube right now, and they're all like, man, I can't wait to get to the part where like all the stand users are actually relevant to the plot in some way, and it got like a bunch of upvotes. So you're not alone.
Yeah.
I think people understand your criticisms, but now we got a recurring villain established, or antagonist of some kind with Whole Horse, but also like an enemy is the enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. Like he's not like he doesn't have. He's going back to Dio, but he did when faced with death try to help Polnareff.
And yet still alive as well, may
possibly
or may
get some
not be able to give
out of her.
information, or you may have to fight her again.
Yeah. And we're moving on.
And we're getting closer to Dio, so.
Indeed. Hope you guys leave a like. We're moving on to the next one right now. Subscribe, check out Patreon to see that. And if you're watching on Patreon, thank you very much for your support. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.